And here we are, just like that, match day 2 of the AFCON 2025 qualifiers have been complete. Some shocks, some business as usual, some massive teams like Algeria. Let's take a look at where we are after 2 out of 6 match days. Remember, 3 and 4 will be done in October, 5 and 6 done in November, and that's it. Before the end of the year, that's the wrap. We'll know the 24 teams going to the AFCON. Of course, no one has qualified yet, still apart from Morocco, the hosts. It all kicked off the other day, though, when Gambia, for me, it was a shock result. And to be fair, I'll give them credit. Good win for Tunisia. I didn't expect it. 2-1 away to Gambia. Ben Romdane, who plays in Central Europe, getting the winner. That's a really good result for Tunisia. That puts them in a really commanding position in the group. When you look at Madagascar and Comoros drew 1-1 in the other game. Tunisia flying on 6 points there, and no other team in that group has a victory. So they've done well there. Senegal, a late penalty in the 71st minute from Ismail Assar. Made it 1-0 for them. That was important that they went away to Burundi and won, because of course they drew the first game at home to Burkina Faso. So Senegal off the mark on 4 points. Equatorial Guinea and Togo drew 2-2. It was a late equaliser for Togo. Salvador assisted the first goal that put Equatorial Guinea ahead. But got to say, it's looking good for Algeria. We know all about that 3-0 win. Clean sheets in both games. So Algeria on 6 points in the driving seat. Equatorial Guinea, Togo and Liberia all still very much in the hunt for second place. And in 3 and 4, of course, we see Algeria play Togo home and away. I think everyone in match day 3 and 4 is going to play each other home and away that hasn't played each other yet. Is this the result of the round? Niger won, Ghana won. The problems are still there for Ghana. They are bottom of this group after the first 2 games. They couldn't even beat Niger. What a result for Niger. Just shows you about African football. The powerhouses and the small teams are no more. They're much closer together. 5-10 years ago, you'd be thinking Ghana were going to win 7-8-0. And their team is still good now. Look at Kudus, Fatawu, Inaki Williams. They all played. They couldn't beat Niger. That game finished 1-1. And the other game, Angola beat Sudan 2-1. Sudan very much still in it. But AFCON quarter-finalists Angola showing it was not a fluke. Mabalulu, remember him? Scored a penalty against Algeria at the AFCON that hit the bar and then bounced just over the line. He scored another penalty in Angola's 2-1 win against Sudan. So Angola on 6, Sudan on 3, and Ghana on 1, Niger on 1. Ghana, all sorts of work to do in that group. That is poor from them. Uganda have been a really positive side in these qualifiers. They beat Congo Brazzaville 2-0 in their group. So they're on 4 points, as are South Africa. Now South Africa left it the late show to beat South Sudan 3-2. Goodness me, at one point, South Sudan, the mighty South Sudan, were beating the AFCON bronze medalists of last time, South Africa. And South Africa had to turn it around. They came back from behind, not once, but twice, to achieve a victory. And the pressure was on them. Remember the first game, they scored very late through Mubata to equalise against Uganda at home. Mubata again off the bench, 95th minute, and South Sudan, you're going to think, when are they going to get an AFCON qualifying victory? But South Africa very much rescued a difficult situation after their first game by beating South Sudan 3-2 in that match. DR Congo, you've got to say, looking very good after the AFCON they had when they reached the semi-finals. They've won 2-0 away to Ethiopia. Bongonda, there was a lot of promise for him getting on the score sheet when he first switched to Congo. So 6 points for Congo in that group, and they are in the driving seat. It's always a good AFCON when the DRC are there. Let me make you sure of that. And what about this? Morocco needed a 93rd minute winner to beat Lesotho away by 1-0. It's like I said about the Niger-Ghana game, the smaller teams and the bigger teams getting closer together. I say Morocco won 1-0 away. It was away in Agadir. So again, Morocco playing the away games at home. But interesting, Morocco made a lot of changes to give some of the second team some minutes. Didn't work out by the hour. I think the manager, Regragui, had made 4 or 5 changes. But still, Brahim Diaz, 93rd minute winner to beat Lesotho. But Morocco, of course, it doesn't really matter because they're qualified to the AFCON as hosts, whatever happened. This is more about them trying players, and they tried out Adam Aznou from Bayern, which was a good pickup for them. And then we saw 15 AFCON qualifiers take place that Algeria played. Mali rescued a difficult first game by winning 1-0 away to Eswatini, but still not that convincing. You expect a bigger margin of victory there. Mozambique, I'm getting worried about Mozambique, guys, because they've got 9 points in the World Cup group, as have Algeria. Algeria-Mozambique is going to be massive. Massive. It happens in March. That's huge. And once again, Mozambique winning, beating Guinea-Bissau by 2-1. It looks like Mozambique and Mali may well be in the driving seat from that group. Nigeria, 0-0 away to Rwanda. Rwanda is their worst enemy at the moment. Look at the World Cup groups again. Rwanda top of the group where Nigeria haven't won a single game. 0-0 there despite Osimhen coming off the bench, Awonyi coming off the bench. They couldn't do it. But good fortunes for Egypt. Botswana 0, Egypt 4. Egypt are looking quality. They need to keep their local manager. Why do they want to get Hervé Renard? They're looking fantastic. Now, I know people are going to say it's only Botswana. Botswana beat Guinea away in Algeria's World Cup qualifying group. And of course, Algeria's next World Cup qualifying game will be Botswana away. And if Egypt are going there and scoring 4, I very much hope we'll be doing something similar. Gabon 2, Central African Republic 0. Gabon looked to be qualifying out of that group with Morocco. Aubameyang scored a penalty in that game. We know all about Algeria's win in Liberia. Namibia lost at home to Kenya 2-1. Good to see Kenya back in the qualifiers and back to 4 points out of possible 6. They'll be pleased with that. Zimbabwe 0, Cameroon 0. I guess Anana will say he's got a clean sheet. But again, Zimbabwe with 2 draws in their opening 2 games. Good to see Biliat back once again. Still unbeaten, I suppose. But the result of the round, and it's going to make you feel worse about Algeria losing at home to Guinea. Guinea 1, Tanzania 2. That is unbelievable. And I know it wasn't in Guinea, it was in Yamoussoukro, which I think is in Cote d'Ivoire. But Tanzania came from behind. Yahya, who plays for Young Africans, got the winner in the 88th minute. Guinea 1, Tanzania 2. Guinea, who beat Algeria in Baraki in a World Cup game, have got 0 points. That's right. They've got 0 points in these AFCON qualifying. Guinea might go to the World Cup and not make the AFCON. It's absolutely extraordinary. So you've got Congo on 6, Tanzania on 4, Ethiopia on 1, Guinea on none. That is quite extraordinary. And Benin getting off the mark, beating Libya 2-1. Libya led in that game with a penalty from El Badri. Benin needed to win that game. Burkina Faso looked good to be qualifying alongside Senegal. They beat Malawi 3-1. Cote d'Ivoire were comfortable away to Chad, winning 2-0. Cape Verde beat Mauritania 2-0. It looks like Mauritania only beat Algeria and Botswana. And heartbreak for Sierra Leone. They did so well to fight back against Zambia. Zambia had to win. Avram Grant on the pressure there. Zambia beating Sierra Leone by 3-2. So that's where we are. Ghana have got to get their act together. Guinea have got to get their act together. They're the 2 biggest ones you'd say probably look in danger of not making the AFCON, but all be revealed in match day 3 and 4 in October. Let me know the biggest shock, and I'll see you next time.